Hi, everybody. This is Opara, partner at Pentagram and captain of the jury for this year's Core77 graphic design competition. Sort of really delighted to actually have with me as judges Alicia, Cheng, Alice Chung, Karen Xu, and Bobby C. Martin. They've been fantastic. And we're really here to talk about the winners. Hi everybody. This is Eddie Opara, partner at Pentagram and also captain of the judging at this year's Core77 competition for graphic design. I have with me Alice Cheng, Alicia Chung, Karen Xu, and Bobby C. Martin. It's been fantastic to see all the entries from the professional and the students. And we want to, take a little time to talk to you about the entrances and what we've seen, and then we'll also just announce the winners. Okay? So I'll start, and then I'll move it over to Alice or Alicia and Karen or Bobby. So what we've seen is a veritable amount of work, and I'll start off with the professionals. In a sense, we do understand that it can be incredibly hard to sort of create work for clients. We all know that. But the aspects of the expression of the work itself, we feel as though it could be a little bit more expressive. And what I mean by that is that think about things with the client that could extend the way the work can be more dynamically approached. And I know that sounds like I'm starting off on a criticism, but I think right now we're in this lull within graphic design in the professional area, and we really need to sort of step up a little bit more. But with that being said, there were some delightful pieces that we had seen, and we would like to talk to you about them later on. So I'm going to hand it over to, let's say, Alicia first to comment on some of the other work, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you, and thanks to Core77 for, and Eddie especially, for inviting us. It was super fun to be with my peers and to review the work. I think we all had fun just sort of reviewing it together and getting a sense of a consensus, which was surprisingly strong for both groups, both the professional and the student. We were especially impressed, I think, with the energy behind the student work, especially, which had a very high level of finish overall, which speaks to a certain readiness for the profession that awaits them, but also a dynamism that we really appreciated. And with the professional work as well, I think there was just a different vibe to it, just notably because of the client-based work. But overall, I think we were had a really good time looking at all the work in general and had some notable people to call out. Do you want to talk about the winners? You have the names written down and can pronounce them.
Yeah, I do. But let's actually go into talking. Maybe Alice would like to add to that, and then Karen, and then Bobby, and then I'll add bits with regards to the students as well, and then we'll do the winners. Alice?
Sure. Okay, thank you. So yeah, I think that what was really great about looking at the work and the way that we did, I guess it was somewhat unusual this year in that, we just started off looking at the pieces on our own and then have come together virtually to talk about them. But what I think was refreshing in a way is that there was quite a bit of consensus. So, the pieces that were very strong, obviously stood out, and it was nice to be able to talk through those selections and also just see the range, because I think that was something that was, you know, nice to see in both fronts. I mean, again, there were some things that sort of happen, I guess, always, which is, you know, there'll be trends that happen with like color palettes or you know, some typographic moves, but still within those, you know, there were definitely a number of highlights. And so it was nice to see that throughout the projects.
Wonderful. Karen?
Hello. I think one of the things that I loved the most with the work was hearing and seeing about the evolution of like the story of how they got to, you know, with some of the projects where they ended up, and also the fact that the projects were so, or tried so hard to express the personality of, you know, the company or, you know, the organization that the work was for. So that was
Wonderful. Thanks. And Bobby?
Well, I'm really happy to participate in the Core77 graphic design judging this year. And I was really fascinated by this process because we reviewed both the professional and the student work. And I find the fascinating part about it was in reviewing the student work, there was definitely an energy and just kind of a sense of we can do it all. And in some ways, it's like this not having a sense of reality yet. We're doing this judging in 2020. And so when you're seeing this, you all know the things that we were going through this year. But to have that level of energy coming from the students, I can see how that could then end up pushing the professional work. And the professional work that we selected that bubbled up to the top also had a good energy to it, but it brought in the professionalism, it brought in the kind of the back and forth conversation that you have to have with your clients in order to make something that is out there in the world. And I think it's a constant cycle of the professional developing the work, but then also hiring students and interns and having this nice symbiotic relationship between the two. So I'm really encouraged about the future because of what we've seen here. And I think where we are right now is in a really good place, but I'm really excited about what's to come, especially post 2020.
Right, thank you, Bobby. And to sort of bookend that in regards to the student work, you know, there's this extreme bifurcation between the professional and the student. The craftsmanship on the student work was actually impeccable, absolutely impeccable. And that is something that we really saw within the professional work that was there. What's going on? There's many questions, as our judges have basically stated. We as professionals might actually have to look at ourselves and actually push harder in regards to it, because the students that are coming out in maybe a few years or maybe right now are going to be taking over. And that's what it looked like. So congratulations to all. And now I believe that we should declare the winners of the professional and then the students. So a little bit of fanfare, everybody. Of the professional Core77 graphic design award is rebranding of ASA Pan-African Financial Infrastructure. Congratulations. And why, pray tell, do you think that is the winner? It's the way that it broke everything down in this sort of very impressive manner. The system underneath it, the infrastructure was very clear. And also the way that it started to abstract those particular forms of the flags and integrate those into the rest of the system was very intelligent. and then not really focusing on the colorations of what Africa actually gives you from the actual flags, but actually creating its own colors to determine a different sort of symbolic approach towards communicating to its audience. Fantastic. Does anybody else want to actually relay any more information about this particular winner?
Well, I think what really stood out is just the kind of, I think you talked about the intelligence, and there was definitely a lot of really good thinking that that came to life in how this was executed and how the system was built. I was actually really impressed with the word mark and the logo itself. And you know, they're lucky because it was just an A, S, and an A. And so when you have this combination, it works in a lot of different ways, and that really worked to the advantage of the design.
I appreciated that they diagrammed the story of how they evolved from the different flags to create, you know, their system.
Yeah, the narrative was really clear, and I think it really helps when you judge these things. You're sort of hit by a number of different projects with all the write-ups, but it was also a very clear visual for us to sort of understand the system, which added to that sort of smart way that the structure was built. So it was very good scaffolding.
Wonderful. And on to the student winner of this year's Core77 Graphic Design Award. A little bit of fanfare.
You need an envelope, like pretend.
No, right? I know, like a little bit of like.
Like we just hand it to you, like through the squares.
Well, the winner is, and please, my apologies for me in regards to not pronouncing this correctly, but it is the Guerrero Festival 2019.
Good job. I like that. Yeah.
And why, pray tell, do we love this particular project? Well, I'll start off. What can I say? Incredibly expressive in every part, from the aspects of the shape, form, composition, typography, sense of movements, suspense, how it connects into the interactions of the videos, fun, sing, dance, and enjoy, right? Wonderful. What can I say? I open the floor to other comments.
I concur. Who doesn't love joy? There was just so much energy and vibrance to it. And I think the combination of the graphic elements with the typographic choices was really, it made it really stand out for all of us. So good job.
Yeah, I agree. I think all of us really fell in love with this project, and I thought what was, what was already said about it was just that there were so many variations to the pieces that were shown, and they all felt like they belonged together. So that, I think, really brought a strength to the project overall.
For me, sorry.
Go ahead.
For me, the typography of the was just something that wasn't just typed out. It was something that had a lot of craft and attention paid to it, and that's part of what made it so unique and stand out from the rest of the things that we reviewed.
Yeah, it was such a rich system with the color and the lettering, like the lettering and the shape of the mouth. Like everything was like graphic and sensual and happy. Like it was just the energy and the beauty was kind of hypnotic.
Very much so. And so with that, I think we just have a few, maybe some parting words in regards to, the runners up and also the notables. That it was very, very hard to select the runners up in professional, and also the winners, and also with the notables. But congratulations to all. And Core77 will be sending out more information about your notable acknowledgements and runner-ups acknowledgements as well. That's me done. I open the floor yet again in regards to the others.
I would love to just say it was so wonderful to see the work being done across the country, you know, from schools and then also in different cities. Like just the vibrancy of now was like really came through.
Yeah, and the global nature of the submissions was really great to see, and also just sort of liberating as an evaluator, just to sort of see the breadth and depth of the offerings. So I hope that level of quality in submissions will be maintained. It was great to see.
Wonderful. And
inspiring, yeah.
And you know, it's always really upsetting that we all couldn't come together as one, but Zoom kind of puts us together, you know. So I look over to Alicia and say thank you. I look down
to you and say thank you.
Thank you. I look over in diagonal to Alice and say thank you, and all the way down at the bottom for me, thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome, man.
My grid is different.
No,
I know. I'm gonna change the design.
No, this was a lot of fun. I really
like hold hands.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I liked hearing all of everyone.
Everybody's got a drink in their hand, if possible.
Actually,
cheers.
Cheers.
Finish my